Hey, sweet faces. We are taking a look at multiplying fractions this week. And remember, multiplying fractions is pretty cool because it's really like two multiplication problems put together and then simplifying at the end. So let's jump right in. Remember that we can think of this like two separate problems, right? We can almost draw a bar across and multiply. So here we have 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120. If we were to simplify this would be 1/10. Okay. 3 times 1 is 3. 9 times 2 is 18. If we simplified this, we would have 1/6. So if you're curious, divide this both by 12. For this, you could divide both by 3. Okay. If you didn't get to the simplified version, that's okay. As long as you're at least getting the multiplication, because that's our skill focus this week. 7/10 times 2/3. Multiply across the top. 7 times 2 is 14. 10 times 3 is 30. If we simplified it, we could cut it in half and get 7/15. 7 is a prime number. It does not divide into 15, so that puts us in lowest terms. Over here, we have 8 times 2 is 16. 10 times 5 is 50. If we cut this in half, we have 8/25. They don't share a common factor at that point, so that is simplified. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 10 is 30. If we simplified this, we would get 3/5. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 4 is 24. Simplified would be 1/12. That is the end of your first page. If you're ready for page 2, please hang tight because here we go. 2/7 times 7/8. Remember, we can treat this like one big multiplication problem. 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times 8 is 56. If we simplified this by dividing by 7, we would have 2/8. 3 times 2 is 6. 12 times 6 is 60. If we simplified this, we would get 1/12. I'm sorry. 6 times 12 is not 60, it's 72. 1/12 is simplified. All right, nuggets, they get a little bit bigger. So if you had trouble with the simplification, I get it. Just try your best, okay? 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 7 is 252. This would simplify all the way down to 1/7. But again, if you did not get there, that is okay. Our main focus is that we are getting to the multiplication, okay? 4 times 5 is 20. 50 times 10 is 500. This would simplify down to 1/25. 6 times 2 is 12. 30 times 8 is 240. This would simplify down to 1/20. And 25 times 1 is 25. 40 times 2 is 80. This would simplify down to 5/16. If you have any questions, please bring them with you to class, but that is the end of page 2. All right, my nuggets. Page 3. It's getting a little bit stickier as we go because at this point, we need to start looking at simplifying larger numbers, right? We're also going to be getting into these as we are doing our mixed numbers as well. So we're still using that same skill set, but we're just going to make it a little bit more difficult, okay? So if we don't have a denominator, we have to give it 1. If it's easier for you to go through and give them all their denominator at first, go for it. Sometimes that's helpful. And then we have to multiply. Now this one's not that bad, right? 6 times 3 is 18. 100 times 1 is 100. This would simplify down to 9/25. Okay? So do your best work and think it through. Over here, we have 55/25. If we simplify, we're trying to think of how many times can we pull out 25. I can pull out 2 25s, which gives me 50, which would give me 5/25. This would simplify to 2 1/5. Okay? And if you're having questions with this, please bring these to class with you. I am happy to talk you through. And I'm looking at this and my brain is saying absolutely not. 18 cut in half is 9. 100 cut in half is 50. I bet you guys were screaming at the screen. Miss Lozinski, look at that one. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. 21 times 2 is 42. 42 over 50. If we cut them both in half, we would have 21 over 25. Okay, 3 times 4 is 12. 20 times 1 is 20. We could simplify this to 3/5. 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 1 is 8. Again, we're top heavy. How many 8s can I pull out? I can pull out 1. That would leave me with 4 over 8. I can take that down to 1 and 1/2. Okay. 7 times 7 is 49. 10 times 1 is 10. How many 10s can I pull out? I can pull out 4. And that would leave me with 9 out of 10. End of page 3. Bring questions with you to class, friends. I'm happy to answer them. Things are about to get a little bit crazy here, love bugs, because now we're using the C method to get our mixed fraction into an improper fraction to multiply and then simplify on the other side. So 100 times 3 is 300 plus 23 is 323. Denominator stays the same, multiplied by 1/4. Our numerator doesn't change. We have a denominator of 400. Believe it or not, this is simplified. 5 times 5 is 25. Add 3 is 28. Multiply that by 2/4. 28 times 2 is 56 over 20. When I simplify this, I start with how many 20s can I take out? I can take out 2. And that would leave me with 16 over 20, which will simplify down to 4/5. 2 and 4/5. 20 times 2 is 40. Add 17 is 57 over 20. We're multiplying that by 3/8. If we do 57 times 3, we get 171. 8 times 2 is 16. Throw a 0 on the back. Simplify. How many 160s can I take out? Well, I can take out 1. That leaves me with 11. And that's actually not going to simplify any further. 11 is prime. It doesn't divide into 160, so that is simplified as is. 50 times 4 is 200. Add 32 is 232 over 50 times 5 over 8. This one took a little extra work, right? This one was not cute. 232 times 5 is 1,160. 50 times 8 gives you 400. So we see that we're top heavy and we need to simplify. I can pull out 2. And that would leave me with, I'm taking out 800. That would leave me with 360 over 450, or I'm sorry, over 400. And that's going to simplify down to 9 over 10. So 2 and 9 over 10. Down the bottom, 25 times 2 is 50. Add 13 is 63 over 25 times 8 over 9. Not cute, but not as bad as the last one, right? So 63 times 8 gives me 504. 25 times 9 gives me 225. I'm top heavy. I can pull out 2 groups. And I'm going to simplify my fraction to 6 over 25. So 2 and 6 over 25. And then our last one for this set, 7 times 8 is 56. Add 7 is going to give you 63 over 8. Multiplying that by 1/3 is 63 over 24. And then when we simplify this, we get 2 and 5 over 8. All right, nuggets, that brings us to the end of this one. We have one more. We have one more to do. Here we go. 24 times 2 is 48. This would be over 600. This is going to simplify to 4/25. 5 times 6 is 30. 7 times 20 is 140. This is going to simplify to 3/14. 3 times 7 is 21. 5 times 8 is 40. That's going to be simplest form. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 10 is 80. Simplified would be 7/40. 4 times 4 is 16. 10 times 5 is 50. Simplified to 8/25. And 7 times 2 is 14. 25 times 8 is 200. Simplified to 7/100. We've done it, mathletes. We got to the end of our practice for this week. Go ahead and bring any questions with you to class. I will see you next week.